If you are interested in 3D printing as a manufacturing process, additive manufacturing, you should read the two-part article by M. Mitchell Waldrop. Really an interesting article. It's titled 3D Printing Finds a Custom Foothold in Manufacturing. It's pretty fascinating reading. It's a two-part series. Waldrop's article it's pretty wide-ranging. It deals with a lot of topics and a lot of issues. But one thing that really caught my eye that I'd never heard of is what United Parcel Service, UPS, what they're doing. They are getting into manufacturing, in a sense, which is a bit crazy if you think about it. It's a delivery company, right? UPS, FedEx, what are they doing getting into manufacturing? But here's what's going on, something I didn't know. According to Waldrop, since May 2015, in a section of its Worldport Distribution Center in Louisville, Kentucky, UPS has been operating a spare parts warehouse that has no spare parts. Instead, the facility has a bunch of ultra-fast 3D printers that can create almost any plastic part that's required and have it ready for UPS to deliver anywhere in the United States by the next morning. According to Alan Amling, UPS's Vice President for Corporate Strategy, it was kind of a no-brainer. And here's why. This is the bit I didn't know. Storing spare parts for quick delivery was already a big moneymaker for UPS. UPS operates more than 1,000 field stocking locations worldwide, all full of items that somebody might someday need, and this is by the industrial customers who pay UPS for that service. They pay UPS to keep parts on hand in a warehouse so that if they need to go out, there's probably a distribution center nearby that can get that part to their customers right away, right? So it makes sense. The problem is they hate it, the manufacturers hate it, because inventory storage costs are so huge. So UPS came up with this idea, well, rather than inventory the parts, why don't we just print them? And they're doing it, and it's turning out to be successful. He points out that 3D printing isn't cost-effective for every part, but for the Louisville, Kentucky microfactory, it's already been successful enough for UPS to replicate it at several sites around the United States, with plans to eventually take it worldwide. And right now, it's only plastic parts, and you all know that metal printing is already getting a really good run right now, and metal printing is getting better and better. So UPS plans to start metal printing parts later in 2018. But that aside, I mean, just think about it. A delivery company is now doubling as a manufacturer. In a way, we could think of this as distributed manufacturing, and really it's kind of analogous to edge computing or distributed computing, where the work is being done closer to where it's needed. I mean, this is really brilliant. UPS's Louisville microfactory is just an example, but as Waldrop, the author, points out, so is the 3D printer that NASA installed on the International Space Station back in 2016. We talked about that on the show. And the purpose for that is so that astronauts can print hard plastic ratchet wrenches and some other parts without having to wait months for the next resupply launch. They just print what they need. By the way, the Navy and the Marines are also doing the same thing, 3D printing replacement parts. So if you take this to its extreme, you can maybe envision a world not too long from now where parts are going to be made near you rather than stockpiled somewhere on the other side of the United States, or the world for that matter. And since that would negatively impact shipping companies, right, less parts being shipped around, it makes sense that they get into the manufacturing business. I mean, what UPS did, I think, is really brilliant, and I don't think it's going to be too long before we see, maybe FedEx and DHL, Amazon start following suit. So pretty interesting stuff. Keep your eye on that.